Welcome back to Chapter 8 of Titan University's RMS course. In this chapter, we are going to focus on one of the most important areas of being an exceptional quality control manager, and that's submittals. Managing submittals through RMS is mandated by both the government, your contract, and your project's quality control plan. Submittals include all pre-construction documentation, shop drawings, product data, samples, letters of certification, tests, plans, and other engineering information that may be required for quality control and quality assurance, control of the quality of materials and equipment, as well as compliance with the overall contract requirements, require timely review, testing, and other evaluations. Submittals must be prepared in time to allow your quality control organization to review and certify, or as required, order corrections of submittal materials prior to providing the submittal to the government. In the Submittals chapter, we're going to dig into the 4 sections which make up the Submittals tab. They are the specification sections. This selection is used to manage the list of specification sections in your contract. Next, we'll go over the Submittal Register. Here is where we'll go into the materials, products, and other items required for each submittal. We'll also go over the sections and paragraphs where submittal requirements are located and any required approvals. The Submittal Register is used to track the status and history of all submittal items. Next up is the Transmittal Log. This is where we create and track the transmittal of your submittals. And finally, we'll learn about Submittal Assignments. This selection may be used to assign an activity to a submittal item, individually, or in a batch. The easiest and most effective way to add your contract submittals into RMS is by using Specs Intact. If your contract is design, bid, build, it is very likely that the designer developed the specifications for your contract using Specs Intact. Your USACE representative can help guide you with what is required here. When Specs Intact is used, the Submittal Register will also simultaneously populate all the specification section numbers that were prepared in Specs Intact. However, you will still need to manually enter the titles of the sections. If your contract is design, build, and your designer used Specs Intact to develop the specifications for your contract, when the Submittal Register is imported, this table will populate. Even if you have more spec sections that aren't in the import file of Specs Intact, you can still manually add them. But be careful, make sure you are entering exact matches. Let's click on the Specifications tab now. And here's where we can see all specification sections from your contract. Sections can be manually added by typing them in, by selecting them individually from one of the master format libraries in RMS3, by importing them from a Specs Intact file, or by any combination of these. If using a method other than importing, start by selecting Add. Then select Manually Add New Section. Enter the specification section number and name exactly as shown in your contract documents. Click OK, then the Back button. Continue doing this until all the specification sections are included in the table. If your spec section numbers follow the master format 1995, 2004, or 2014 format, we will use the format of your specifications. So, how do you know which format to use? If your specification sections are numbered similar to what you see on the screen, you will use Master Format 1995. This format is quite old and isn't being used with new contracts. If your specification sections are numbered like what you see on this screen, you will use Master Format 2004 when adding spec sections. And if your contract specification sections are numbered this way, you are using Master Format 2014. To manually add a new section, First click Add and select which master format you will be using. In this example, we will add a section using Master Format 2004. Place a check mark on all sections that are in your contract, then click OK. And you're done! Next, we're going to take a look at the Submittal Register. As I've said before, the use of RMS to manage submittals is mandated by your contract. Read your submittal paragraphs carefully and make sure to include any submittals not listed in RMS. Adding items into the Submittal Register is not uncommon. Now let's go ahead and dig into the Submittal Register, which we're going to build. Click the blue Submittal Register tab. The Submittal Register has three main parts to it. Filtering blocks allow us to pare down to certain items, Submittal Register items, and down here, you will find the transmittal history for an item selected in the Submittal Register. And if your contract requires more than one Submittal Register, you can use this blue button to toggle between the two. These columns are filled in by specs intact, and the rest of the columns are filled in as the contract progresses. So let's say you need to add a section to the submittal procedures. Double-click on the section you will be adding a submittal requirement for. In the field name Required for Activity, select the blue drop-down and a selection screen will pop up called the Activity Lookup. Here, just select the activity you need to add. We've selected Pavement Markings. Then click OK to complete the selection. Next, we see a Submittal Item screen which we must complete. Enter a brief description in the Description field, then select the blue field next to Required for Activity and make the appropriate selection. Enter your specification paragraph number and then the drawing sheet number. Now, we'll enter the number of days after or before the activity start date. This is when the item must be delivered. Continuing on with the addition, for the Procurement Period field, we'll enter the number of days it will take to obtain the item once ordered. For days to review, this is typically 30 days. However, the government may give you a different time frame. Next, we'll complete the classification and the submittal type. Select the blue box next to the Primary Contractor Reviewer and select the person responsible for ensuring the submittal is correct, and then click OK. Before we move on to the Transmittal Log section, I do want to stress that you will have a handbook on how to run and manage RMS that comes with this course. Let's go ahead and click on the Transmittal Log button. The Transmittal Log maintains the record of submittals as well as their status. All submittals must be made using a transmittal form or ENG form 4025-R, which is also just called the 4025. The transmittal form is generated in RMS. Your contract specification section 013300 Submittal Procedures gives a detailed explanation of the submittal process and requirements. RMS provides the means to easily carry out the required actions. In the Transmittal Log Summary screen, we see 5 subsets: Draft Transmittals, Pending Government Receipt, Transmittals in Review, Pending Contractor Acknowledgement, and Completed Transmittals. Draft transmittals have been initiated but not submitted or have been returned for corrections. Pending Government Receipt contains transmittals that have been completed and submitted to the government. However, the government has not acknowledged them yet. Transmittals pending government receipt cannot be edited by the contractor at this point. Transmittals in review have been acknowledged by the government, but not acted upon. Pending contractor acknowledgement are transmittals the government has completed and returned. However, you have not acknowledged receipt. These transmittals may require additional action by you, so it's important you get to them in a timely manner. Completed transmittals are ones where the government has completed its action and returned them to you, and you have acknowledged you've received them back. A submittal consists of the 4025 transmittal document identifying submittal items and their supporting documents. The first step in creating a submittal is the initiation of the transmittal form, ENG Form 4025-R 4025. Let's click Add to initiate the 4025, and then we'll select the items to be submitted. The specification sections which have unsubmitted submittal items will display. To remove the filter and to see all specification sections, check All Sections. All the items associated with a selected specification that must still be submitted are displayed. These include those items that have been previously submitted but were not accepted, approved by the government, and therefore require resubmittal. To remove the filter and to see all submittal items, check the All Sections box. Select all items to include in the transmittal, then click Next. Complete the transmittal number in the subsequent data entry screen. RMS will automatically add the next transmittal prefix number, however, you can change it if you wish. The transmittal extension for new transmittals is 0. For retransmittals, RMS automatically starts numbering the transmittal extension. While you can change this number, you shouldn't. Now, click Finish.
Hi, I'm Alex from Titan University, the leader in government construction, safety, quality control, and environmental training. We hope you enjoyed the module preview from the course Mastering RMS. Please like, share, and comment if you did. We'd really appreciate it. If you want to learn more, or get your Mastering RMS certificate, head on over to Titan University by clicking the link below. Our courses are affordable and easy to comprehend. Plus, we also have course materials you can download to assist you. The Mastering RMS course has several modules. But no worries if you can't finish it all in one sitting. You can take as long as you like to complete it. If you are, or want to be, a quality control manager for construction, this Mastering RMS course just might be for you. Please don't forget to like and share. We hope to see you over on Titan University.